everyone. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been so long since I've been live. Let me get my comments back up. It feels like it's been forever. I've been so busy on the Cat Chakra book. If you can't see it on Instagram, here we go. Cat Chakra book. I've been so busy getting that finalized, and then conference prep started, whilst also supporting on my Soul-Led Guardian program, peeps. Oh, hi, Jennifer. So it's been a very, very busy few weeks, perhaps months, like where has the summer gone? So I thought I would come back online and be with you all and chat about how we can help our cats at Christmas. So if you've got any questions or anybody needs support with their cats, like drop a comment, let me know. Let's see how I can help you guys with your cats. Because, you know, the festive season, while some people, you know, absolutely love it, it's not perhaps ideal for our cats. And also, before I get started, I just wanted to share that, but I wanted to acknowledge that this time of year, whilst there's a lot of, you know, festive fun and Christmas joy, for some people it's really hard. And I want to give a shout out to those people, the people who either don't celebrate it and are kind of sick about Christmas, and people that, you know, have lost loved ones, human or otherwise. And for people that are having a difficult time, I speak from a place of compassion. Last year was the first Christmas that I experienced with my personal change of circumstances, and it was very, very hard. Like I can't actually believe I made it through it. So in my Soul-Led Guardian program, I always talk to my participants, I call them friends now, but to the people in there and tell them about, I try to be as transparent as possible. And that's the same for me, like when I'm live and I'm online with you guys. You know, you'll have heard me curse, the occasional swear word pops out, although I tried really hard to be professional when I'm online and not swear too much. But I'm honest, like, you know, I'm just me. And last year was difficult. And this year, it's like, it feels completely different. I'm really excited to be with my boys. I am really looking forward to creating some new traditions, to carrying forward those that I loved. And what I really feel blessed about for this year is that I have the capacity to really focus on myself and my boys. So I wanted to send hugs and love and lots of light to anyone who may miss somebody at this time of year. And if you do, and if you are, find some space. Like, find some space to breathe, find some space to grieve, and find a bit of space to honor that person or being. What I will do is I will spend time nearer the day and I will connect with Pickle. I will feel into her essence. I will connect with her and feel into the love that we have. She is in spirit. She's not in physical form, but that doesn't mean the love that we have has ended or gone. It's not had, you know, just because our heads, our minds are saying, well, you know, she's not next to you. She's not on the bed. She's not in real physical form. It doesn't matter. We are still connected. And I look up there because her photo's up there on my what's the word? Shelf. Until I haven't been live for a while. I will connect with her and share in love with her. So create a bit of space, okay? However that may be, whatever that looks like for you. And it's okay to take time out. It's okay to not be full of festive cheer all the way through this time of year. And I didn't mean to rhyme then, but you got to admit, it's kind of cool when I do. So let's talk a little bit about our cats and what can happen when it comes to this season. So if we start with, I'm going to do what I do with my Soul-Led Guardian peeps, which is we start with the human first and then we work with the cat. Why? Because we are so connected to our cats that it all starts with us. Their behavior, their reactions, their support, how we can support them, it all starts with us. So let's start like we would in SLG, Soul-Led Guardian program. So I would start with the humans. Now, there are those of us that will start with lists. You know, I mean, I'm one of those people. I will write a list about the presents I've got to do, that there's a bigger list for cards that I want to do, and there is another list for things to get sorted, and plans to make and who to see. And it's a lot to kind of orchestrate. So I shared with you all before, again, in the spirit of transparency, I have anxiety. I manage my anxiety in a variety of ways. That's a topic for another conversation. So this time of year can be stressful for me if I let it. And there is space for me to make a choice. So I did think yesterday, I was like, oh, I've got 3 boxes that I've got out of the boiler room cupboard that I still haven't got out everything that I want to get out to put around the house. My birthday was only it was the last week of November, so I've still got birthday cards up. I want to take the birthday cards down and put my Christmas like tea light holders up. So I'm like, oh, I need to put those 3 boxes away because that's not going to be good for Leo. And I want to start make sure that I've got an updated card list because my personal circumstances have changed. And I'm like, right, already this week, my head has started to go, you know, that tune. That's what my head is doing, but louder, faster, and on repeat. The crocheting cat behaviorist, a lot of people don't realize that our cats can feed off our emotions. And that's absolutely right, my darling. They don't just feed off them, they feel them. They feel them, they embrace them, but we'll come to the cats in just a minute. So what I'm going to do, in fact, what I've started to do is make a list. I can't show you my phone because I'm on my Instagram on my phone, but I've started to make a list on my phone of things that I want to do and things that I want to do this weekend. So this weekend, I've only got very limited plans. I'm going to get the tea light holders out of those boxes, put those boxes back in the boiler room cupboard, put my birthday cards away, you know, and just start to maneuver things because it's stuff to do. And whilst I've got stuff to do, I'm in my head. So when I'm in my head, I'm thinking. You know, thoughts are the language of the head, right? So whilst I've got things to do, my head is like, oh, another one. And it gets busy and noisy. And like I said, it's on repeat. Now, I consider myself a soul-led cat guardian. And I cannot be soul-led if I'm in my head. Okay, I'm genuinely not meaning to rhyme this much on the live. So I've got to make a choice. Like I'm aware of what's going on, which is the first part of this kind of like Christmas special, is to help you guys realize that when you are aware of what's going on, that's the best place to be. Because you then get to choose. You get to choose how you deal with it, what you do, and what next step you take. So how are you feeling? Like, let's get people in the chat. You know, drop in the chat and tell me, like, how busy is your head? Very busy, not really busy, you know, like, tell me, how is your head? I want to know how your heads feel. Hi, Marianne. Very busy. Oh, my darling, I feel you. Yeah. Yep. Anybody else? How are your heads feeling? So when we realize that our heads are busy, you know, we don't come into our heart space, or it's not as easy to be in our heart space. And that's where we meet our cats. That's where we receive their essence. That's where we can work with them. Chill cheetah, extremely busy. Yep. Feels you. So how can you prepare for Christmas? My head is insanity. Oh dear. Oh gosh, love. That's not good. Oh my. So I laugh because I'm like, I can feel that. I understand that. So what do you need to do to honor, to nurture yourself? Yes, you've got things to do. Yes, there are other people involved. And yes, we are going to come on to the cat bit. But before all of that, before you can be there for anybody else, before you can do stuff for others, before you can help your cat, you've got to help yourself. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing bad. There is nothing shameful. There is nothing proud. You have to help yourself. So for me, I'm a list person. And a couple of people in the program understand that. I need to get it out. So I need to get out of my head all the things that are doing this. And they're on repeat. and repeat and repeat. So I'm making lists. And then when I've got my list, when I've got everything out, I can look at, right, what's when? This is a Christmas Eve thing. This is a Christmas Day thing. This is a 2 weeks before. This is a this weekend thing, etc. So when you have understood where your awareness is and what's going on for you, then we can help our cats. So I use this example in my program, but when people say to you when you're on the airplanes, put your own oxygen mask on first before you help other people, it's so true. And that's what it's like in life as well. As much as we all try to do the best for our cats and for our families, if we don't look after ourselves, we can't help anyone. So before, I'm going to get onto the cat stuff in just a minute. So I would ask you, my loves, to just notice what's going on with you. Like just take a nice deep breath, like let's do it now, like do it with me online. Close your eyes if you want to. And just like notice. If you've got aches and pains in your body, is your head going a million miles an hour? Do you feel like mentally or emotionally exhausted? Do you feel full of joy? Are you buzzing for what's ahead for the rest of your day or night? Like just taking a moment to really connect in with yourself can make a huge difference. So there's a little trick, for goodness sake. There's a tip I'm going to share with you, which is a trick that I use frequently, which is something called a calm connection. Again, we talk about this in the Soul Led Guardian program. And this is really a fabulous tool that you can use at any time of day or night. Like anyone can do this. You don't have to have any experience in meditation. You don't need to have any experience or prior work in breath work. Anybody can do this. I'm going to do it with you now. So don't do it when you're driving or operating heavy machinery, obviously. So you get yourself comfortable and you close your eyes. And you take a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. And you put your left hand on your heart space and you do it again. Nice and slow, nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then you put your right hand on your tummy or below your belly button on your sacral space and take another deep breath all the way down into your tummy. And on the out breath, dropping your shoulders and softening your brow. And you just take a moment. Just let your breath find its rhythm. Feel your body under your hands. Just breathe. And again, notice where your awareness is taken. Bringing your hands down together in your lap. One more deep breath. And all the way out. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Okay, so that took us 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I don't know about you, but I actually feel more calm. My energy, I was getting super excited being online and being live. It feels like it's been forever since I've been here. So in those 2 minutes, that piece of breath work helps to support your physical body, your emotional state, your mental health. It is a beautiful example of how just taking a moment for you can really shift all of you, your whole vibration. And again, I'm not going to go too much into that tonight, although I could, but we're going to talk about cats. So when it comes to helping your cat cope at Christmas, the first few things I'm sharing with you are looking at how you are coping. What are you dealing with? How are you feeling? How are you checking in with yourself? What do you need to nurture and support yourself? And find some time to do just a moment. You can do it when you're having a wee, right? I would say do it when you're brushing your teeth, but it'll be a bit difficult with the exhales. So you can do it when you're having a wee, right? You can do it when you're waiting in the car. Like the next time you go to pick up your phone is a really great distraction. Have me on your shoulder and actually take a couple of deep breaths. and just see what happens, because I would put money on it that it will help you to shift and to feel better. So that's enough about the human part. It is really important for me to share that, because the more I'm working with my soul-led guardian people, I've got notifications coming on my phone. The more I'm working with the soul-led guardian program, the more we are realizing that the work that we do on ourselves directly impacts our cats. So you may have seen some of the posts that I've been putting up recently. Oh my goodness, with my boys, who I would have said before, like, Leo's not a lap cat. I can't say that anymore. You know, Feral, for the first 18 months of his life, spent over 2 hours on me, on my legs the other night, ended being fully stretched out with his paws on my feet. I mean, like, it was heaven. I was super late to bed, but it was totally worth it. So when we work on ourselves, our cats can feel it. Absolutely. Like the crochet cat behaviorist said, you know, they can sense and feel our emotions. Thank you for that great tip. Brilliant. I look forward to hearing you do it, Chotita. Like, comment on other posts of mine and share with me how it's helped when you do it. It's really, really simple and yet really powerfully effective. So what are you doing to look after yourself? That's one of the first kind of big Christmas questions. So now let's talk about our cats. And I'm going to share with you to start with, because I always think it's important to speak from a place of experience. I'm going to share with you about my boys. So for those of you that don't know, how can you not know? Because it's all over my social media. But for anybody that doesn't know, I've got 2 cats, Leo and baby Max. And they're not litter mates, so they're not kind of brothers. They are literally brothers from another mother. And I have worked really hard to help them coexist and to have either a neutral / positive multi association relationship. So they have completely different needs. They mirror the duality in me magnificently. So they are complete opposites. So, for example, with feeding, Leo likes the same food and he doesn't like change. He doesn't like different variety. He doesn't like variety. And, you know, I'm lucky now. I've got to a point where I've actually managed to feed him 3 different brands. And we've only got a couple of flavors within each of those brands. Whereas baby Max, if you feed him the same meal like twice in a row, he won't eat it. He is like all about variety. Different foods, different brands, different flavors, different toppings, different plates. Like, he is just all about mixing it up, mummy. So when it comes to Christmas, I have the beautiful opportunity of looking at these 2 boys and looking at how I can help them. So, for example, one of the things that I had to think about is wrapping paper. So baby Max will want to be in every single present, every single one. He's curious, he's joyful, he likes to get involved. So every present that I open, he will want to sniff the paper. He'll want to bat at the paper. He'll probably want to go in the paper. Whereas with Leo, the smallest crinkle or wrinkle or scrunch or crisp or noise of paper, and he's going to go run a mile. So literally opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of engaging with that part of the day. So how am I going to deal with that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recognize that they have different needs. And again, that may sound really simple, but actually, like, we as their guardians, it's our duty to understand that they are all, whichever, unique beings. They're not just my cats. They're not just my boys. Leo is Leo and baby Max is baby Max. You know, I am Julianne Thorne. You are whatever your name may be, you know, Marianne, Pam, Sarah, Sue, whoever, you know, and we all have different needs. So why on earth wouldn't we meet theirs? So wrapping is one thing to think about. Like, how would your cat react to it? Again, drop it in the comments and let me know. How does your cat engage with wrapping paper and presents? You know, do you have little ones or young people that are screaming and screeching and really excited to get the box of Lego or whatever it may be? How do your cats engage with this part of Christmas? Because when we start to realize and recognize that all the cats are different. It's actually a really beautiful space because we get to honor them. We get to acknowledge and understand what we can do to help them. Toys. I love that comment. So rather than getting frustrated, oh, for goodness sake, baby Max is in the paper again. Oh, God, he's just in the middle of it all. Why isn't Leo here? Why has Leo run away? I'm like, I know why. Jennifer says, Destiny loves getting her Christmas stocking full of toys, loves the new toys and playing with them. Beautiful. She is beautiful. Oh, love it. Love it. And it's great that you know that. That's what I think is one of the most important things, is that you understand that she loves it. If I brought out a stocking and put it on the floor for Leo to look at, he would have eyes like saucers and run a goddamn mile. Like, he would be like, what on earth is this foreign contaminant? And he'd be out the cat flap like a shot. Chill Cheetah. My cat hides behind the TV when she hears strangers come over. She gets so stressed, hides, and comes out only when everyone is gone. So that's I feel you on that one. That is my Leo. That is my boy to a T. And I'd be really interested to understand, Chill Cheetah, like, how does that feel for you? Because what I found a while ago is that I was desperate for Leo to be in the house. Like, when someone came to the door, in fact, someone could park at the top of our house, like top of our drive, not even come to our door. But if like they were going to drop an Amazon parcel off like next door, Leo would run outside. And if the cat flap door, because we've got a downstairs spare room, if that door was shut, which it is like at nighttime, like now, he would come running upstairs and hide away. And for so many years, I wished and dreamed and wanted him to be different. I'm like, buddy, it's fine. Like, no one's coming in the door. It's not like they're coming in with, torches made of fire and pitchforks and, like something desperately bad's going to happen. Yet in his world, it was bad. It was scary. And when I did a bit of work using some of the tools that we've got in the Solo Guardian program, I realized that that's all at my expectations. And it's not fair. It's not fair for me to have expectations of him. Like, imagine if you went to someone's house for Christmas Day and they expected you to sit perfectly still, to only open one present at a time, to open your present in a particular way, to eat your dinner a certain way. Like, how would that make you feel? I'm a bit of a fiery personality underneath the kind of, professional facade. So, I would be like proper mad. I wouldn't like that at all. So why would we expect that of our cats? So I love that the Crocheting Cat Behaviorist said, create a calm space for your cats. Absolutely. Jennifer said Destiny puts her head right in the stocking and can't wait. And that's beautiful. Like, enjoy and embrace what you've got. I'm going to love seeing baby Max enjoy having that fun. And I'm also going to make sure that at intermittent points throughout the day, I'm going to check in with Leo, who's likely to be upstairs in the spare room hiding away. Tried to create a hide space for her, but she chose the TV to hide behind. I feel bad for her. It is stressful. So it's a really interesting point there. So you feel bad for her. What I would say is, like, your energy, she can feel that. So again, Chill Cheetah, there's a beautiful opportunity there for you to, rather than be in a space of like you feel bad for her, which makes her out to be a victim. And she's not a victim. She's dealing with a stressful situation in the best way that she can. So what I've learned to do, and maybe this will work for you, I don't know, but now I encourage Leo to hide away. I encourage him to go to his safe space because he feels safe. I'm like, good job, buddy. It's about not like the reinforcement, but it's about the energy you bring to them. So whenever I used to think about Leo, I'd be like, oh, buddy, like, it's really sad. It's a real shame. I'm really sorry that you feel that way. Like, oh my gosh. And now I'm like, yes, good job, buddy. Did you feel safe? Are you okay? So creating hidey holes and spaces to retreat are really, really helpful. And as Chill Cheetah said, you may create a space and they'll find somewhere else, and that's okay. The best thing you can do there is to educate the family, whoever's come to visit, friends, family, whatever, anyone that's there for the duration or kind of pops in, just give them a heads up. And just say, look, I've got one cat behind, be careful of this one. He's likely to want to investigate your presence. The other one is upstairs out of the way, or he's behind the TV. Can we just carry on as normal, keep volume to an even keel, and not try to bother them or pressure them to have in contact and interaction? Because one thing to remember is that cats can deal with, just like us humans, a certain level of stress. And actually, in terms of like the hormones, I'm not going to go into the science because that's not my realm at all. But for our bodies, like we don't want to be in a chronic state of stress or a continued state of stress. But having stress, having things that cause a stress reaction in our body can be good for us because it enables us to develop coping mechanisms. It enables our bodies to be able to manage that experience. And it's the same for our cats. So as long as it's not prolonged stress, it's a great example of them managing themselves. So hidey holes, downstairs, upstairs, to be honest, as many as you can manage in whatever space and setup that you've got would be great. So hidey holes are definitely one. The other I would say is about having a herb garden down. Oh, hang on. Jill Cheetah. Thank you. That's a great tip. I will encourage her instead of feeling bad. That does bring a different energy. Yes. Love that. Beautiful. I'm so glad you've got that to take away. That's a brilliant opportunity. You know, if we think about the all emotions have energy. Again, I'm not going to go too much into this. I just can't help myself. I love this stuff. So if you think about a vibrational scale, and some of you, if you've been in any of my workshops, may have seen this. In fact, no, I don't have one printed off. I've got my feelings wheel, but not a vibrational scale. I must print one off. When we feel joy and love, it's got a really high vibration, right? So it's like at the top of the ladder, if you like. It's really fizzy. It's really high vibe. You know, people say like gratitude's the highest vibration emotion you can have. It's true. Like when it's measured, the frequency is over like 500 hertz. It is ridiculously powerful. And yet anger and sadness and shame and guilt and frustration and irritability are all low density vibrations. So like shame vibrates at like 20 hertz. So you've got love that's 500 and shame that's 20. I think guilt's like 30. So imagine coming out of you, 500 hertz, like this fizzy, really high, fast energy, or this kind of like sad, kind of like treacle-esque energy. But just the way that you approach your cat, the words that you use, the tone that you embrace with them will impact how they feel. So that's a really quick win for you. So a couple of other things that you can put down. If you're a doer, I'm a doer, and you like to have things to do, like practical things to put in place, because let's be honest, it's all very well if I say to you, feel better. Hi, Dee Dee. It's all very well if I say to you, feel better, but we can't always do that, particularly not if we're up in our heads. But if you have the capacity to just take a moment, catch your breath, like I've showed you, and look at check in with how you feel, you can then make a choice how you deal with what's going on, what energy and emotion you bring to it. So let's talk about some practical things you can do. So color therapy. I love that the Crocheting Cat Behavior mentioned that. Absolutely. So for anybody needing, shameless plug, anybody needing Christmas gifts and ideas, the Cat Chakras book, Complete Guide to Clearing, Cleansing and Balancing Your Cat's Core Energy Centers, available from my website and good online providers. I talk in there about color therapy and energy, but in there I talk about the colors for each chakra. So for example, when it comes to like Christmas and cats are stressed, the two chakras that are likely to be affected are their heart chakra and their root chakra. Because there's people in the home, their environment is unsettled. Because your energy is different, their heart may be unsettled. So putting down a t-shirt, a piece of paper, a scarf, a jumper, a coat, whatever you can get your hands on of different colors. So where's my hand? Bloody thingy. I've got different screens for Facebook and Instagram, but the colors of my logo, have a look and see what colors you can bring out and put around the house. So don't put them in your cat beds. Don't put them in your cat beds because you might displace the cat. Okay. So if they've got a lovely safe space that they go to, which is their cat bed, and suddenly it feels different because you've put a colored blanket in there, they don't want to sleep in there. Where are they going to sleep? So use the colors, use the pieces of fabric, your t-shirts, for example, and put them in places like on your bed. Maybe one on the sofa, in the dining room, like wherever you've got space, in the corner somewhere. If the cat needs that vibration and wants to work with that color, they will go and search it out. Okay. So different bits of color can help your cat, give them a sense of autonomy, give them the capacity to manage their emotions. Okay. So herbs is also another one. So again, this wasn't planned. Total shameless plug. The herb gardens from my website are buy one, get one free at the moment, because I want to give cats as many opportunities to support themselves as possible. So if you buy a herb garden from my shop, www.naturallycats.co.uk, any herb garden that you buy, you'll get a second one. It will be a different second one, but basically it's buy one, get one free on all herb gardens that are available online at the moment. When you put down different herbs, it can really help your cat. So everybody knows about catnip, and it's quite, because that's not the only herb that you could use. So some cats like catnip, some cats don't. Some cats go crazy on it. Some cats go spazzy, and then kind of they're wiped out and they sleep. Every cat, just like every human, I've not said that before, is different. But there are so many other herbs that you can offer. So if you've ever been unsettled and you've had a cup of chamomile tea to calm your nerves, have you ever had a cup of peppermint tea if you've got a bit of an upset tummy? So herbs and plants and flowers are beautiful remedies. And when you've got the dried versions and you put them down for your cat, they are wonderful. Not only do they also have an energetic frequency, but they have healing properties as well. So for example, like valerian helps your cat to deal with anxiety. So like gentle herb garden or the anxiety herb garden are a great option. So you basically get a little towel and you put a good pinch of 4 herbs, one in each corner, and you put it somewhere quiet. Again, corner of your bedroom, corner of the dining room, not in the front room where everybody's kind of, enjoying the Christmas day. Put it somewhere nice and quiet, downstairs spare room, utility space, whatever it is that you've got. So give your cats as many opportunities as you can for them to manage their own energy. So places they can take themselves off to, herbs that they can work with, color that they can work with. The more you give your cat the opportunity to support themselves, the happier they will be. So one of the last few things, what time are we on, that I want to talk about is eating. And I talk about eating because, again, my boys will be very different. Baby Max, his appetite won't be affected at all. She says, touch wood. My previous experience is that Baby Max's appetite isn't affected at all. It's pretty standard, and actually what will happen is he'll get bored after rifling in the present paper for a while. He'll go out and he'll come in and eat food as normal. Leo, in the past, hasn't wanted to eat. So I've got, again, remember I said to you at the beginning, you've got a choice. I've got a choice to freak out and panic and worry and be super stressed, or I can be in a space of, I trust he will eat when he feels safe. So I've got my sister coming for Christmas this year. Never had it before. I've no idea how Leo's going to interact with another person in our house because it's been a long time since we've had that. But I trust we'll figure it out. I trust it'll be okay. Things may not be our normal, but I know that he'll do what he needs to do. So what I will do with Leo is I will put down a plate of food at night time when we go to bed, because when we first got Leo, the only time he ate was when the house was deathly quiet overnight, pitch black, no sounds, no humans, no nothing. And if he needs to go to that space to be safe and to feel secure, I'll support him with that. So don't be surprised if your cat's appetite changes, and not just on Christmas Day or Boxing Day, but as you lead up to those days, because again, I'm going to go full circle, your energy is going to change, right? Your vibration, which is the energy that comes out of you that cats can feel, that is going to probably be a bit of a roller coaster and a bit up and down and all over the shop. And again, that's okay. If you can do the breathing exercises that I showed you at the beginning, it will help to anchor and center you in, which will help to settle you, manage your vibration. But think about how you can support them and what it is that you need to do to give them the best opportunity to feel content with what happens. So one of the last things I want to talk about is the Christmas tree. So we talked about food, presents, hidey holes, herbs, color. There's so much content here, guys. And while I'm talking about this last bit with the tree, I'd love to know what your takeaways have been. So get writing in the chat, because I'll read a few out at the end. We're going to wrap up in a few minutes. I'd love to know, what have you found most useful? Like, what has been your light bulb through this session? What has been a bit of an aha or a really helpful tip? So the last thing to talk about is the tree. Hang on. So we have a tree, and Leo really just hides underneath it. He's not hugely fussed at all. Baby Max, on the other hand, he's like, ooh, pretties, let's play. So what I did with my tree is that I had the boys involved. They didn't just come home one day, or come in, I should say, not come home. They didn't just come in one day and find that there was a massive big tree, because I got a big tree in the corner of the front room, which is their territory, their space. Imagine if you came home and all of a sudden you saw there was a new chair in your front room. Like, how would you feel? You knew nothing about it coming. You didn't know it was going to be there. No one had talked to you or told you what was happening, but you just came home one day and found a new chair in the front room. I don't know about you, but I'd be a bit freaked out. So I told them what was happening. I talked to them about it. When the box turned up, I left it there. It was there for probably about 2 days in the hallway. They had a good sniff around. When they got to the point that they were scenting it as they walked past, they were rubbing against it as they walked past it, I moved it. So the scenting is a sign that they are integrating this thing into their environment. So we put it in the front room and I opened it up and we did the same again. So whereas before we've brought it home, we've set it up and it's kind of just been there, this year we did it a bit differently. I did it a bit differently. So I have made sure that any dangling decorations on the bottom branches are fabric. I actually came down a couple of days ago in the morning and found that one was in the hallway. I was like, oh, baby Max, thanks very much. So just bear in mind what's in your cat's reach, because we all know that we've got wand toys and fish toys and things where we, move along the floor for the cats. So if you've got dangly things coming off a tree, the cat's going to think it's something to play with. They're going to want to boop it and play with it. So if you don't want them to do that, don't have them hanging low. And if you do have that and you want to have them hanging low, because let's not forget, it's not just your Christmas. It's not just about how you want the house to look. This is their environment. It's their space as well. So it's important to understand, like, how can you find a compromise? So like I've got fabric ones along the bottom of the tree. And what happens now is if baby Max goes up to it and starts to play with it, I don't tell him off. I do not squirt him with the water bottle. Please don't do that. I simply go into the dining room because we've got like 2 rooms together. I pick up one of his toys and I start to play with him away from the tree. That's it. That's as simple as it is. I picked him up the other day and I held him and I was giving him hugs and I leant towards the tree. He had a sniff and he actually wasn't that bothered. So it's not about doing, punishment when your cat is near your tree, bopping it, hitting it, sniffing at it, chewing at it, whatever it may be. It's about redirecting their behavior. So it's not about telling them off. It doesn't work. To be quite honest, it doesn't work, because you're still giving them attention. You're still giving them interaction. Whether you shout, scream, spray them with a water bottle, please don't do that. But you are still interacting with them, so they've still got your attention. So the best thing you can do is to find something that is appropriate to engage with your cat and go and play with them. There are other things, putting peppermint oil on the tree. Again, if you want to try that, you can do. From a self-selection point of view, I probably wouldn't do that. But it depends what drive your cat has got. For me, I'd always try distraction. I'd always try redirection. Let me see what people have said. Okay, so Jennifer says, we're very fortunate that Destiny loves the tree and loves to lay under it. I actually hang out with her under the tree, under it too. Of course, it's fake. She adjusts very well. Beautiful. I love Destiny. She's amazing. Jennifer's in my Soul-Led Guardian program. And Destiny is such a guide for her. I also make her part of putting the tree up and putting ornaments on. I tell her what we're doing. Yes, I love that. I love that you're telling her what you're doing and making her part of it, because it almost like removes the novelty. And particularly with some of the fabric ones, not maybe for me, like glitter covered ones, but would let baby Max sniff it. Let him sniff it. And if he rubs against it, great. It's got his scent on it. So get them involved. Very careful what is hanging at the bottom of the tree. Yeah. She doesn't play with the ornaments. So that's good. That is very good. And again, I think it's probably testament, my darling, to all the work you've done with her when you're getting her involved with what you're doing. So please don't use the water bottle. When you squirt and use a water bottle, and again, I know some people are a fan of it. In my previous days as a behaviorist, I don't like it at all. it creates a negative association in the relationship with your cat. It can bring about fear. It's actually a lazy win. It's a lazy win for you, because if your cat's doing something you don't like, to pick up a bottle and just kind of squirt them, it's lazy. And I'm very rarely this kind of open about my opinions. However, it is lazy, because what you're doing is saying no to your cat and not bothering to tell them or explain to them or redirect their behavior to what is acceptable, to what you do want, to how you do want them to engage. So, it's really not a great way at all. Sorry. Yeah. So it just makes them afraid. They'll still do it when you're not around. Yep. Feline behavior coach. Hello. I can't stand it. Even cat sitting professionally, people have water bottles labeled with a cat's name on it. I'd bin them. I would be a devil with that. I'd be like, oh no, I don't know where it's gone. How strange. And they'd be like, oh, so tell me why you use that. Like, ask the question. You've got to ask the question. And unfortunately, I'm going to rant. It's a bit of an antiquated way to deal with cats. Like people would, many, many moons ago, when a cat was sick, they would rub the cat's face in it. Oh, that'll teach them. Of course it doesn't. Fucking see, there's my passion coming out. Of course it doesn't teach them. It's a terrible thing to do. And unfortunately, there are some people that think that the water bottle is the way forward. For me, I think it's the lazy option. There are always better ways to deal with your cat's behavior. If you don't want it, if you don't like it, first of all, ask yourself why. What is your issue with it? Because you're the one that's actually got a problem. 90% of the time, cats are exhibiting a normal cat behavior. And then two, redirect it. How can you turn it into a loving connection? So baby Max wants to play and boop the fabric heart at the bottom of my Christmas tree. Go for it, buddy. Actually, you want to play. That's what that means. You want to play. So I can sit and watch my box set and squirt you with a bottle of water. I wouldn't do that. And tell you off. Well, you're going to just come straight back and do it again. So what I can actually do is get off my ass, go and pick up a toy and come back and play with you and still have my box set on in the background. So you see, give your cat a voice. And hopefully that's what I'm doing this evening. They are sentient, sensitive beings, and we are their guardians. We're not their owners. We're not really their carers. We're their guardians. And it's up to us to learn how to support them. It's up to us to understand what we can do to help them to feel safe. I'm starting to say to some of my clients, imagine if your cat is your child. Whether you have kids or not, it doesn't matter. I don't have kids through choice. I don't know why I added that. But I don't have kids, and my boys are my kids. And I think about the fact that if I had children, how would I nurture them? So if they were doing something that I didn't like or didn't agree with or didn't want them to do, what would I do? I'd find out what's going on. I'd find a different way to support them. Because as I said to a client today, when we're looking at behavior, so let's say problem behavior, I'm totally going off on a tangent. But when you've got behavior, and if it's a problem behavior, it's related to an emotion. When you've got an emotion that's not being met, that leads to the behavior. It's coming from an energetic imbalance. What's everyone talking about? Cruel. Hang on. Oh, someone added cider vinegar to the water and sprayed them. That is totally animal abuse. Yeah, totally dying could hurt the cat. That's just shitty. I'm sorry, there's no way to say that politically correct, but that's just shitty. And sometimes people don't know, let's find a bit of compassion here before I go completely into a space of judgment. People don't know what they don't know. They may not know there's a better way or a different way to deal with their cat. So when you've got an energetic imbalance, it leads to an emotional situation. And when you've got an emotion that's not being met, it leads to a behavioral response. So if you've got a cat that's weeing outside the litter box, I had a cat today weeing on the sofa, only weeing when the whole family's in the front room, right? So and the guardian said to me, I think the cat's doing it on purpose. And yeah, the cat is doing it on purpose. And the cat actually is sharing with you that it feels safe when you're around. That's why it's doing it. Yes, there are probably other reasons. Yes, it needs a chakra cleanse and other energy work. But the behavior is dealing with an emotion, and the emotion comes from an energetic imbalance. So I don't know why I went off on a tangent about that, but when we look at our cats over Christmas, If their behavior changes, just go with it and accept it. Come from a place of love and support rather than poor, sad, mini, whatever they're called, but don't put them in a victim space. Okay. Put them in an empowered space. The way that you view them, the way that you talk to them, the way that you connect and share your energy with them will really, really help. So the next time you see your cat hiding away, don't feel sorry for them, praise them. The next time you see that your cat takes itself outside when someone comes to the door, when they come back in, give them a high five, give them a well done. Because they are allowing, you are supporting them when they are allowing themselves to do what they need to do to nurture themselves. And let's face it, that's what we want as humans. I want to know that I'm loved and accepted in however I may need to deal with myself, taking myself away, not going out for dinner, not spending time with people, having quiet time, like whatever. I hope that people will respect that my needs are met and I can do that myself. So why wouldn't we do it for cats? Okay. Feline behavior coach, just like a toddler, you want them to feel like they have some control in these situations rather than punishing them. Absolutely. Last night I had an argument. The girl was all for using rolled up newspapers for spanking and learning them a lesson. I'd be giving them a slap. So thank you everybody for sharing, and I appreciate that you are using this space to share what sounds like horrific and shitty experiences that you've had with people. And what I would say to you is, how can you help them? My mission is giving cats a voice. My overarching mission is to change the world's perspective of cats. How can you guys be part of that mission? How can you turn around to those people and say, and not from a place of judgment, like what you're doing is wrong, but say to them like, oh, I'm interested as to why you do that. I'm curious to know what response or results you think that's going to bring for you. Have you ever considered doing it this way? So you don't have to go with it. That's wrong. You're bad. All the judgment, but just perhaps open up a conversation and see, ask them, because if they don't know any better, they're not going to change. So totally off on a tangent, longer than I wanted to be tonight. I was only going to do half an hour, but hey, here we go. So as a very quick recap, how to help your cat cope at Christmas. First and foremost, deal with yourself, right? Do the quick breathing exercise, 1 to 2 minutes, 3 deep breaths, a 4th one to close. Identify where your awareness is. So take a moment to check in with yourself, get out what you need to, whether that's a list or whether you need to tell people how you feel, whatever it may be, but honor yourself at this time of year. And then you can support your cat. So hidey holes, flexibility with their feeding, color therapy, nice bit of herbs, educating family, friends, and visitors. And then connection, like supporting your cat with whatever they need. So words of encouragement, energy of positivity, and not just about positivity, but energy of like pride. I'm so proud of you, buddy, for doing that. I'm really pleased that you took yourself away, and I hope you've enjoyed the quiet time that you've had. Come from a place of love, because trust me, it will really shift your energy. And then see how it goes. Roll with it. Like, life is not linear by any means. So take one day at a time, sometimes take 1 hour at a time. You have the capacity to help your cat. You do have the space to be a soul-led guardian. You may just need to take a moment to check in with yourself and then to deal with them and support them. So I hope you found it useful. If anybody's got any last quick comments, if you want to share with me what your takeaways have been or which bit you've enjoyed or found useful, I'd love to know. So drop it in the chat now. Chill Cheetah, it's lovely to have you here. So many interesting topics. Thank you so much for all the tips and sharing all your amazing knowledge. Oh, my pleasure. I'm loving the purple hearts. Purple is so my favorite color. Naturally Catch, you're amazing. Thank you so much for this. Back at you, my love. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Oh, my loves, it's been great to be back with you. And it's so great to be live. Like I said, I feel like I've not done it for ages. Let me just check. Hang on. Yes, so I've got 2 more before Christmas. Great. So the plan is to be live every week from January, but we've got a couple of weeks to go yet. So you'll see me live next week. I have no idea what it will be about. I'm really trusting my intuition at the moment. And rather than planning in topics and things, I'm kind of just seeing how I feel and whatever comes through that goodness sake, whatever comes through that I need to share with you, bringing it to you. So if anybody's got any questions or any topics that you'd like me to cover, drop it in the chat and tag me, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's been a real pleasure to engage with you guys in the chat and to share my experience with my boys and have a tiny bit of a rant. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again next time. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.